city's history goes back to more than 1,000 years. In fact, as historic document says, the oldest settlement of Rome were situated along the river Tiber, near the Isla Tiberina. It was a strategic point for the connection of the two banks, and very useful for trade. An ancient legend says that Rome was founded in 753 before Christ by Romulus and Remus, who had been abandoned on the banks of Tiber and were brought up by a she-wolf. Initially, the city of Rome consisted of a small community of peasants from Lazio, who settled in small villages spread on 7 hills. This new center was destined to become the heart of the biggest empire of the ancient world. Here the Forum, political center and home of the institution of the city were built. The Forum was made up of magnificent and elegant buildings. Everyone who saw it had to understand how powerful and rich the Roman Empire was. In fact, Rome grew up so rapidly that it controlled the whole of central and southern Italy.
After the so-called Age of the Kings, when Rome's political history started, the Roman Republic was born in 509 AD. Political life depended on assemblies of citizens, of which the most important was the Roman Senate. The impressive victories of the Roman army were organized from here, in particular under the command of the brave and brilliant general Julius Caesar. Later, the Roman state, by now very large, was left to the empire of Augustus, adopted son of Caesar in 31 AD. The Roman civilization under this reign reached its maximum splendor, as we can see with the monument of Arabashis. After Augustus, there were lots of other emperors who contributed in a different way to increase the prestige of Rome in the world. The splendor of Rome was therefore visible everywhere, even in the monuments and the great constructions which embellished the whole city of the Mediterranean, from Spain to Dacia.
But an incumbent threat impended on Rome. In 476 AD, the barbarians who lived outside the jurisdiction of Rome were among the main causes of the crisis of the Roman institution. They put pressure on the board of the empire, managing to enter completely and to raid and damage many monuments and important buildings in Roman territories. So the Western Roman Empire fell.
During the long period of chaos called the Middle Ages, in which cities were subject to continual changes, in Rome the power was held by the papacy. Little by little, the Pope of Rome, central figure for the Christians, who descended from the Apostle Peter, became the real sovereign of the city abandoned by the emperors. Since the beginning, the Pope had exercised political as well as religious control, but, starting from the second half of the 5th century, his prerogative was the building of new churches. The churches of Santi Giovanni e Paolo, Santa Anastasia, Santa Sabina, San Pietro in Vincoli, and San Giorgio in Velabrio were built on the sites of the old Roman basilicas. The city was radically transformed, becoming richer until the high point of the Renaissance.
In 1400, Rome became the worldwide center of Christianity, and it developed a political role which made it become one of the most important cities of the Asian continent. Popes promote art, tried to give back to Rome its beauty after the barbarian invasion. New buildings were built and the center of the city changed from Campidoglio to Vatican. The Vatican Apostolic Library was built. At Pope Julius II's time, the artist Michelangelo Buonarroti painted the Sistine Chapel and designed St. Peter Basilica in Vatican. Other architects of Renaissance had already worked on this project, like Raffaello Sanzio. In 1600, the city changed again. Rome, because of its papal court, became the European capital city. The popes of noble origin gave money for the building of monuments, fountains and places. The decoration became more lavish and the facades are more curved. The most important artists of these periods were Bernini and Borromini. Here we can see the tortoise fountains in the bright ghetto of Rome.
The collaboration between Rome and the Vatican stopped in 1870 when Umberto I of Savoia, King of Italy, chose Rome as capital. Until 1900 the population doubled and cities were completely restructured, and the Italian Bank was founded. The Altare della Patria was built on the Colle Capitolino, and ministerial buildings were projected. When Rome became capital, the city increased socially, demographically, and economically.
When in 1922 the fascist arm took over Rome, Mussolini got the power as dictator. Thanks to the Lateran Pacts, the church reconciled with the government and Via della Conciliazione was inaugurated. Mussolini built the underground, the Farnesina's Palace, in front of which a new bronze monument symbolized the word, and the Sport Forum. Here, lots of states that represent the sports were built.
The fascists tried to renew the old style of Rome. Before the entry of Rome into the Second World War, Mussolini started to build a new area called EUE, that means Universal Roman Exhibition. Mussolini wanted to inaugurate the third age of Rome, but because of the war defeat, he couldn't realize it. Here we are.